My name is Rob Woodcox. I'm a fine art and fashion photographer, and I create work that speaks to the state of humanity. What's cool about photography and most art forms is I think they can be such a core source of therapy, really looking into yourself and digging through the things that you've experienced and letting them out through your art forms. And so when I see people in my life experiencing triumphs or traumas, and those stories speak to me, those are things that I want to create about because they become personal for me. Before I did photography, I didn't even think of lights as different colors. Like, I didn't see a fluorescent light as different than a tungsten light. And when I started actually focusing on those details, I started appreciating the textures in walls, the details of a flower. And when you can create a photograph that intentionally captures different colors, pairing and contrasting, that is power and that is beauty. And for me, I think it can really tell a more elevated story when you think about those details. The human form is so beautiful, and I think in this society, a lot of times we're afraid to show the human form. We're afraid to see nudity. We're afraid to, talk about vulnerability. But in my opinion, I think vulnerability is the core of who we are. And when you're strong enough to show that to the world, I think that can create the most change. If I can capture that vulnerability in my art and show the human body and form in a beautiful way, perhaps I can, show people that they are beautiful, they do belong here, and we all belong here together. It's been very important that I include all different kinds of people, whether it's the color of their skin, their sexuality. We cannot come together as a society until we accept and respect everybody. That is an essential role for me to play as an artist. I believe that art is a language that crosses all barriers, all borders, and if we don't use what we have to create change, then what are we doing? And for me personally, I've had a very interesting experience around sexuality. I grew up in a very religious environment and was basically told that my identity was not okay. And that was a very hard journey to work through. But what I found is that embracing that fully has changed my life forever. It has made my life more beautiful, more passionate, more engaged. And it doesn't matter how you identify. It doesn't matter your gender, your sexuality, the color of your skin. You are valid, your experience is valid, and you belong here on this earth. And I hope that people can take even a grain of inspiration from that into their day. My advice for young creators or new creators or people getting back in touch with their creative self would be to spend a lot of time with yourself, really dig deep and figure out what is it that you want in this lifetime, what is the most important thing to you, what makes you feel, and connect to those things and create from those spaces. I think the thing that stayed the biggest motivator for me was knowing that what I was doing mattered to me and it connected to me at the core. So do what you love, find what it is at your core that matters, and just stay connected to that, and you can't really go wrong.